What's up, it's a Ninja Prodigy back here with another video. So tomorrow is the FNL state finals. I'm here in Orlando right now, right by Grills. I don't exactly know the name, but hey, it's dark right here. You guys are having a hard time seeing me, currently right by the water. And this is the night before competition. I'm super pumped, I'm ready to do well. I left here this afternoon. I'm staying the night, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be going off in 2 o'clock. I'm gonna be performing, and hopefully I could do really well for you guys and show everyone what the Ninja Prodigy is about. So guys, do you think I could do this course over here? You know, that tough playground? Do you guys think I could do this? I think it's too tough for me. Future ninjas in training, all right there. I'm pretty startled and shook, as you can see. But yeah, I'm gonna do some quick reflecting. I haven't really done this before, like actually before competition reflecting, so now I'm actually gonna be trying for the first time. So I had some time before the meal, so I'm gonna just share what I've been thinking about what's going on. Like last year I got quite a bit of competitions in. I really wanted to do well here so I could show that I could still be able to do all these competitions at a high level and do them out, because if I don't do well, I may not be able to have that many competitions left in me, so due to money and stuff like that. But hey, hopefully there's some kind of cash or prize incentive so I can at least afford some more competitions for you guys. I swear I just startled some little kid. But yeah. So this was the gym last year, Ninja Fit Gym, where I say I had one of my best runs, period. Sorry, I just thought that kid who came back. I had one of my best runs here. I did all except for the warp wall, so I was like 5th on stage 1, and all of the adults, not just my division. And then on stage 2, I was 6th, I think, among all the adults. So I did really well at that stage, and I did really well at this competition. Hopefully I can carry over this to tomorrow, and I really want to do well. And hopefully I could start winning some more prize incentives in adults, because there is a decent amount of money. Because if I could do that, then I could afford stuff like North Carolina and stuff like that. I should maybe start a Patreon or something like that if I get enough subscribers to try to help fund for this. Because fundraiser, it worked decently last time, but it was mostly with family members. So hopefully this time, just tomorrow, I'm really hoping I can do well. This is state, so this is a huge deal for me. This isn't just like any ordinary competition, and I'm ready to deliver. I'm ready to bring it. Tomorrow, you're gonna see what the Ninja Prodigy is all about. So I'm gonna start with stage 1 of the FNL finals. The first obstacle was some steps with agility ones to purple angled steps. However, they're pretty slippery with my shoes. For some reason, they don't have good traction with some obstacles. That happened to be one of them, so I kind of just crawled my way through it. Then it was to a rope. I accidentally grabbed a little too high, so I had to go back. For some reason, I've had a knack of just going slow and cautious and kind of going iffy through the first couple of obstacles. So then I had to go some globes and swing to a dismount. The next one was some PVC balance pipes. Those ones were taking out a couple of good competitors, because it is very awkward. They do have some bend in them, which makes it more challenging. However, I was able to roll it. You are able to use your hands on it, so I decided to use that for the second one, so I could just regain my balance, and then you just have to jump to the warp wall. Went for an early dismount to save some time. The next one was a series of lache type things. So the first one were these ape grabs, they kind of call them, but it's more like a monkey bar type swing to another one. Then it was to a UFO disc. So it's pretty weird that the UFO was there this early, because UFOs are typically a more challenging obstacle since you have to grab them just right. This is the next one, though, is the more traditional UFO and being tougher to grab. So you had to go that to a switch grip cliffhanger, which has one cliffhanger grip on one side and then the other one on the other side. So you have to grab it just right. This lache was also taking a couple people out. I just barely got it on. I got like my fingertips on it. So that was pretty good grip strength there. I think I only had like 2 fingers on it, so I was really surprised. The next one was more simple and straightforward. It was a rope climb up top to a black bar, which you can't quite see, but I'm basically grabbing this black support structure and then traveling across to another rope, then you could just go down. The next one was a monkey bars to some other objects to a raindrop PVC pipe. Stage 1 wasn't as hard, as more speed based. I did have a good decent amount of time left, but again, it kind of took more time. And then it was a PVC pipe down to another ring off to the side there. And then you just kind of monkey bar your way up. And then the final one after this is going to be a warped wall. And the warped wall is the one that did take me out last time during the UNAA local qualifiers, as you saw, so I decided to go straight for it, and I got it this time. So then I hit the course, and I was one of 8 finishers, I believe. I think the slowest one, but it's still a good enough time. So we're now on to stage 2. After a good stage 1, I want to hope to get a good thing going. So first one is the Sam Ladder, which I do feel comfortable with because that one is in my backyard. Then the next one is our first circuit board we're going to be seeing. This one's been in recent years, and yeah, so just you have to get all the way to across to a bar, and then you will be able to dismount. So this is a different level on stage 2. A lot less speed oriented like stage 1 was, and more on grip and upper body strength. As you can see, as we already have a dual type combo obstacle to start off with. So then just getting to the thing. Then the next one was the ring toss into some monkey bars. Luckily for me, I do like the ring toss, and this one was probably meant more to tax you on later on, especially this would be felt more close to stage 3. And then you had to go straight into a rumbling dice, which was there last year a little bit on stage 1, but now it's on stage 2. Into the cone, onto the monkey bars. You can either jump or swing that or reach out. This is about like 5'8"-ish, give or take. So I was able to reach it since I am about a little over 5'10". And then the next one is the floating monkey bars. These ones really do spin a lot, and this was probably the most difficult obstacle on stage 2 outside of the last one, which was very, very challenging for people. However, these floating monkey bars, they did get a lot of people out because they do like to rotate. I decided to chalk up before this one take time, since this one was probably going to be the hardest one for me because, again, with those rotating bars, anything can happen. However, I have practiced this at Ninja Street Obstacle Academy, so I did feel prepared. I barely got that one in. I just hooked it in, and basically if you miss, you're going down. However, it wasn't just that. You had to then go grab the I-beam ledge on the top, which is extremely challenging and a very thin ledge, probably a little over an inch. And then if you think you just go touch the ground, no, you have to grab that, but then you go straight into a balance obstacle, which is going to be a teeter-totter type obstacle. And basically the second one gets very, very long, and it's very steep, so basically if you don't get it right. However, I did feel a little shaky, so I decided to take my time, even though I usually like to blitz bounce obstacles. However, recently that didn't turn out so well, so I decided to take my time, focus really well. However, that one you do want to go fast, so basically then you just go to this little ladder thing. I decided to just crawl my way through it because, hey, why not? Then I decided to do the ultimate bonehead move and forgot that there was a rope I was supposed to grab it with a weight. So I spared you the details of me just being an idiot of missing that and had to get the rope brought back to me since I thought the weight would be heavy, so I just kind of forgot to grab it. And then you had to swing to a cargo net. This was probably one of the easier obstacles on stage 2, unless if you forgot to grab the rope like me. However, the final one there, I decided to chalk up before because this was the hardest obstacle on stage 2. It was the wing nuts straight into a wave runner type obstacle. So you're going to see what it is. These wing nuts, they're not the traditional ones, but it's very similar motion. Basically, you still have to get the good swing up. The first one is about 10.5 feet apart, so on the show it was about 12 feet apart, so it's a little less. And then the second was 8.5 feet, which is still a pretty big gap. So I decided to build up some real nice momentum, and there I was able to get this one quickly. But however, I decided to swing a lot for this one, probably more than I needed to, because I wanted to grab right in the middle where it was narrower and wouldn't twist on you as much. So I decided to build up enough momentum, and I actually was able to slide it forward. So kind of, I guess, less of a move. That made this next move a lot easier. This was probably where you started to feel it, because this is the final point. So I decided to just get off here and get a nice, well, I was the first person to finish stage 2, despite being an early. The first obstacle here on stage 3 was a flywheels fidget spinner type obstacle. So you had to grab onto the flywheels, which rotate in a little bit more of an awkward manner. I tried reaching, but that did not turn out very well. Should have learned from my last run at Orlando, but hey, you learn the stuff eventually. But I did end up getting the reach there, and I decided this was probably a better strategy. Just try to reach for each one. Make sure you don't make a stupid mistake on just a swing there. So after the flywheels, you go straight into a flying bar, circuit board, and ring swing type combination. Even though I didn't need a rest, I kind of did it anyway because my chalk was kind of falling off. And before a 3-obstacle gauntlet, you really want to make sure that you're chalked up and you're prepared for the obstacle. kind of an over preparation, but I knew nobody was at this point doing well. Like so far, nobody had beaten 2 obstacles at this point. And this was a very brutal stage. Not many people were completing, so I thought I could take my time, even though in the end time really didn't play a factor at all. And then I just overshot it completely. So yeah, I had to go to the next one there. So basically, you gotta climb the cargo net, but then they told me that I was supposed to go the other way around. So, you know what? Decided, why not? Chalk again. Climbing the cargo net there. And then you had to go to a rope into a cliffhanger. The cliffhanger was really brutal. Only, I think, 4 of the about 10 or 12 athletes who made it to the stage completed it. So it had a really high failure rate. And at this point, nobody beat the cliffhanger. So I really want to make sure I could do it and try to be the first one to do that. This obstacle, I did beat it at the last UNAA competition here, which was a stage 2 obstacle previously. So it was a cliffhanger, keeping those L's. That is about way less than an inch. I'd say maybe half an inch, give or take. And then you had to keep those L's. And this is where it gets harder when you get close to the end. A bunch of people were failing near the end or the dismount because it was a thin ledge. And then a couple people failed here at the dismount. I did get that, so I was the very first person of that just group so far to get that obstacle down. A couple more would get it later, but that was still pretty difficult. However, the next obstacle was a true reward. It was a new obstacle. It was basically, you had these little poles that had some little bar type spike things on top, and you had to hook them into each object there. However, it was kind of like a key locking. I know you guys don't know what that obstacle is, so basically you just have to hook some kind of object into a little hole. However, I had no traction with my shoes, so I just had to give up there. I mean, if you have no traction from my shoes, and sometimes they don't, you just have to give up. The next obstacle is a lightning bolt, which took me out last time. However, for some reason, the filming didn't quite get it right. However, I just failed on it again. So, kind of bummed I failed that one twice, but hey, we'll get it for the next competition. The final obstacle was a bookshelves into cliffhanger type thing. I do have the bookshelves in my backyard course, so that is pretty helpful there. However, that cliffhanger ledge was very thin, very narrow, and I failed there, but nobody completed this obstacle, period. Here was kind of a redemption type thing because I really didn't want to end up there, and I knew I could do better, so I decided to do the flying bars, circuit board, ring swing type combination again. So this time I didn't overshoot it because it is a smaller gap between them as I previously stated, but this time I got it nice. And then I decided to do the circuit board because that was the original obstacle. Since I did fail at the flying bar, you didn't see this, but this was also part of the second obstacle, so it was more of a long and brutal type second obstacle. So I'm gonna get it to the end here, and once there, that's when it's gonna start the ring swing, which is the final part of this 3 obstacle in 1 type gauntlet. So then just hook it up and then grab the ring and then swing over to the cargo net like that. Farewell from Ninja Fit Gym. It's a Ninja Prodigy, and I'm gonna be updating you on how I did soon after. Since this was a very long video, I'll try to make this overall thought process maybe a little more brief than normal. So overall, I said I did pretty well, except for stage 3, which pretty much took out everybody. Nobody completed the entire course. Only 2 people completed more than half the obstacles, so that just shows how difficult that course really was. But yeah, stage 1, I think my overall placing was 8th among all the adults. I obviously completed the course, I think I was the slowest of the finishers. Stage 2, a similar thing. I was 6th place. Again, finished the course, just was slowest among the finishers. And this was just by a couple of seconds on each one. I mean, I could have gone a little faster, but being an earlier runner, you want to focus more on time and make sure you get all the obstacles right. On stage 3, however, I got 6. A couple other people were in that 2 obstacle completion range. However, I was the 2nd fastest. So yeah, only 4 competitors were able to beat 2 obstacles, so that was a brutal stage 3. But however, I felt comfortable most all of the way around. Stage 3 was just some mental mistakes, but overall, I got rid of some of the early mental mistakes on stage 1 and 2. There were some little hesitancies or mini type error things, but none of them proved costly. I had the strength, I had the capabilities, I had a decent pace. I'm not saying I was slow or anything like that. I had plenty of time on each stage left. I was well below the time limit, but yeah, overall I just felt pretty comfortable overall, and after Minnesota I've been doing pretty well since, and getting 6 in states definitely shows that my skills are increasing. I am improving, and yeah, this is going to be a new season for FNL, FNL, UNAA. So overall, I'm feeling pretty comfortable, ready to dominate and show my skills, just like I did in Orlando.